Welcome back all to our continuing series on Digital Sentry. In today's video, we're going to cover making a USB recovery drive. Now, first thing is we have to have the recovery file. Now, for either a DSSRV1 or 2, they are separate files. In this example, we're using a DSSRV1. Now, we do need to extract the files. We're going to go ahead and accept the default, which is going to put it right back on the desktop. You can click Browse to select a different location should you choose. We're also going to leave Show Extracted Files checked so it shows up once it's done extracting and gives us a list of all the files that were extracted. We're going to go ahead and hit Extract, and the process will now begin. So just a few notes while we're waiting on the extraction. One other thing is I did mention there are two types of drives we can create, a DSSRV and a DSSRV2. It's important to note that a DSSRV1 recovery cannot be used on a DSSRV2, and a DSSRV2 recovery cannot be used on a DSSRV1. Now, however, you can use a DSSRV recovery on another DSSRV system, and the same with the DSSRV2. With the extraction process now complete, we can see all files are there and intact. We are now ready to copy them to the USB, but first, we must prep our USB. Now let's go ahead and prep our USB drive. To do that, in search, we're going to type in CMD to bring up our command prompt. Now here is where we're going to actually set up our USB to be bootable and formatted correctly. To begin this process, we want to type in disk part and hit enter. Okay, now with this done, this will bring up the disk partition manager. So here's an important note. We want to make sure the USB drive is connected, and we want to type in list disk. Now, these next portions are very destructive. We want to make sure we select the right disk. As you can see here, ours is disk 4 because at minimum for a DSSRV, you need an 8 GB drive. Now, there is some formatting lost in it, but as long as the drive states 8 gigs, it will be enough space. And because it is so important we make sure we get the right drive, one of the things we can do is we can open up Windows, we can check Properties, and then check the available space. This will tell us how much space is there. If you do see that there are values here, that means there is data on the system. At this time, you should offload that data to prevent any loss. So once we confirm that we have a drive, and let's just make double sure. Another thing that we can do to verify it is we can actually disconnect the drive and run list disk again. What this will do, this will show us if the drive we disconnected and the one we suspect to be the USB drive is in fact the correct drive. With that done, we can reconnect the drive, type list disk, and we can see we're good to go. Knowing that it is in fact disk 4, we can type select disk and the number 4. With the correct drive now selected, we can begin the process of setting up the drive. First, we'll type clean to clean the drive. Once the drive has been cleaned, we'll need to create the primary partition by typing in create partition primary and pressing enter. Now, with the primary partition created, we want to go ahead and make it active by typing active. Once active, the final step is to format it. We want to format it as FAT32, and we'll do quick. So the command for that is format space FS equals FAT32 space quick, and then hit enter. This process on an 8 GB drive will be fairly quick, but it can take several minutes. Once this is done, the final step is to assign it. We do that by typing in assign and then pressing enter. This will immediately prompt us and show us the now ready drive. This can be booted to, but first, before we do that, we must copy our files from our extracted folder to the USB. With the files now fully copied over, this USB drive is now ready to recover a DSSRV system. Just to mention it again, make sure when creating a recovery drive, we are creating a DSSRV recovery for a DSSRV, and a DSSR v2 recovery for a DSSR v2. I do want to mention quickly that while an 8 GB drive is required for a DSSR v, for a DSSR v2, the drive has to be a minimum of 16 GB to a maximum of 32 GB. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. And remember, at Pelco, we've got it all covered.